Hello everyone, welcome to this week's financial and news update. This is Calvin from Alberta. The big dip happening in the Wall Street stock market on Thursday afternoon was probably caused by a mysterious trading and was accelerated and magnified many times due to the computer automated trading system. I personally believe those computer automated trading systems should be improved in the future to prevent such event from happening again. The big oil leak in the Gulf of Mexico was hoped to be controlled by a dome lower down to the deep water. I think this is a simple technology and it should work. However, I just got news back from Google saying that the dome was clogged because of the hydrates and ice formed deep in the sea. I personally think the dome was improperly engineered, or there should be a plan to remove the ice and let the dome working back again. The big dip in the Wall Street for sure hurt the investors' confidence. However, the big driving force in this week to lower the stock market down probably came from the Europe. The Greek debt crisis has pushed the euro back to a few months low as $1.25 per euro. We can call this the first euro crisis. The Greek parliament already agreed on a massive bailout plan put out by the European Union and the International Monetary Fund of 110 billion euros on the condition that the spending of the Greek government will be dramatically cut. This triggered a whole bunch of protests in the Greek. I personally believe that this kind of crisis will not be solved easily, because in a democratic country like Greek, if the government cut the spending by too much, which annoys people, they will turn over the government. The housing market China for sure was cooled down by the measures that took by the Chinese government. However, I think this cooling down of the housing market while driving down the stock market as well. This week the Shanghai index has dropped about 6 to 7%. I think it will still continue to drop in the future, because when the housing market cools down, people own houses, which are those wealthy people, will cut their investment in the stock as well. I also think that cooling housing market will affect in the upstream industries such as the steel and the cement industries, and it will affect the economy eventually. So the China will be away from the double-digit growth and come back to around 7 to 8 normal growth rate again. The Shanghai World Expo has been on for about a week, and the show-up number was lower than expected. The primary reason is because there was not enough space for people to rest, and the queue outside of the Colosseums are too long. I think the Shanghai World Expo was not properly engineered to handle around 400,000 people every day. And I think in the 21st century, where internet was very popular, the World Expo was not as useful as before anymore. 100 years ago, when you have some new product, the World Expo is a very good stage for you to show off your product and for other people from other countries to know the new product, like elevators, like induction motors. However, we are now in the 21st century. If you have some new invention and a new product, you can advertise it through the internet, and people from many countries will know it instantaneously. So the World Expo was not an expo on product anymore. It's more of an expo on ideology, and I think it helps serve the window for the Chinese to the world, to know the world more, and rather than a window for the world to know China more. Now for the investment suggestion for the next week, I think the Apple computer is probably a good stock to pick because it has been dropped for about 10% last week. However, the Apple computer was performing quite well. The iPad was sold for more than 1 million copies in the US market and will be sold in Canada on May 28th. So I think Apple computer will still be very strong company in the future, and their stock price is quite low right now. And a piece of news from the BBC World News is that researchers found the world's largest beaver dam in northern Alberta in the World Buffalo National Park. I think this beaver, who has been constructing this dam from 1970s, was probably graduated from University of Alberta. Thank you. Hopefully to see you again next week.